Good morning, everyone. My name is Kenneth To. I'm the CEO and co-founder for ViewsML, and I'm going to tell you guys how we're transforming precision medicine and spatial biology using AI with virtual biomarkers. So, unfortunately, 20% of the world's population will be diagnosed with cancer. Now, the good news is 1/3 of those will be treated with precision medicines, and almost all of which rely on biomarkers. Now, biomarkers, in terms of the results, can take up to weeks to receive back from diagnostic labs, and there's variability between the interpretation by pathologists of these results. So the question is, how do we get to the right treatment for the right patient faster? Sorry, can you still hear me?
Sorry, we lost you here for a second.
Okay.
This is good now.
Is that okay?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So the question was really, how do we get to the right patient with the right treatment faster? And in terms of detection of biomarkers, the wet lab process called immunohistochemistry uses antibodies to visualize these biomarkers underneath the microscope traditionally. And as I mentioned, it takes up to weeks, and therefore the process is slow, it's expensive, and the results vary. So our solution is using AI to virtualize this antibody and IHC process, resulting in a predicted output within seconds, and therefore giving back 100% of the time, 50% of the budget, as well as a richer data set, reflecting a 15x ROI. Now, once that algorithm is developed for a given biomarker, then all we require is a digital H&E as an input. And from there, once it's processed through our model, we provide that predicted visual output that you see on the bottom left, that virtual IHC. And if you compare that with the physical IHC, you can see there's very nice correlation between the two. So this patent pending solution has actually been in license with exclusive worldwide rights from Dartmouth in New Hampshire. So ultimately, our mission is really to create the world's first and most robust virtual biomarker library set. Now, from this biomarker library, this virtual biomarker library, there's a multitude of different use cases that can be applied into things such as translational research for us to be able to provide researchers with richer data sets, and importantly, to preserve the consumption of rare precious tissue. Downstream from that, we can get into things like patient selection and clinical research, as well as ultimately the virtualization of different diagnostic assays for things like patient triaging, stratification, and we're certainly partnered with a number of different institutions in those type of collaborations. But really, translational research targeting biopharma is our beachhead market that we're currently in market with a commercial product with. And it's really a land and expand strategy. So starting on the right-hand side, we have a paid pilot contract with the top 10 pharma, and happy to announce that actually we've completed that pilot. They've gotten budget approval to expand up the scope of that project. So we're moving on to a phase 2, if you will, with that pharma. In the adopt bucket, we've also contracted with the paid pilot with a top 5 pharma. The idea there is once we virtualize those initial set of biomarkers, we move them into the expand category to hopefully expand up the scope of that relationship. And in the sort of the land category, if you will, we have started contracting with another pharma. In this case, we've already fully executed a master services agreement and now going through budget negotiation. And then behind that, we have a whole host of leads within our sales pipeline. Ultimately, what we are targeting is strong revenue growth through to 2029, targeting 67 million. And to the extent of creating this virtual biomarker library, happy to announce that we've actually just partnered with a tier 1 US healthcare system that brings us full access, unfettered access to their tissue repository library to build this biomarker set. In terms of the competitive set, I would say really the only direct competitor is Pictor Labs. But what I could say across the board is we really are the only company that offers this virtual biomarker spatial prediction that delivers the per cell level sensitivity that customers expect, but at the same time, importantly, fitting into their existing pathology workflow. There really is no other company that does that. In terms of the team, myself, I've actually previously founded a company directly in this space, in addition to multinational experience. A couple others on our team. This is the co-founding leadership team. Our chief commercial officer has 1.6 billion in sales behind his belt. And Chris is a board certified pathologist and also an ML engineer by training and the inventor of the technology. In terms of our next step on the financing side, we will be opening up a new round in the first half of 25 to accomplish three things. Number one, scale that virtual biomarker library. Two, drive revenue in that biopharma flywheel. And number three, continue the development of those virtual diagnostic assays that I mentioned with those collaborators. We did complete a pre-seed round earlier this year, and you can see some of the investing partners across a number of different functional spaces that they contribute to. So with that, I'll stop there. Happy to address any questions. Thank you.